Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy and coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Navi Mumbai International Airport Phase 1. He also flags off the final phase of Mumbai Metro Line 3 and other infra projects. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer arrives in India with the nation's biggest trade delegation to date. We'll meet Prime Minister Modi in Mumbai. Both the leaders will also attend the Global Fintech Fest 2025. India proudly celebrates the valor and courage of its air warriors on Air Force Day. Prime Minister Modi extends greetings. Hails the IAF for its bravery, discipline and precision. And gold races past $4,000 an ounce for the first time as investors hitch their ride to a historic rally in the safe haven asset to hedge against global uncertainties. Also, Japan's S. Kitagawa, UK-born Richard Robson and American-Jordanian Omar M. Yagi win Chemistry Nobel for developing metal organic frameworks which can be used to harvest water from desert air and much more. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday inaugurated Phase 1 of the Navi Mumbai International Airport, built at a cost of nearly 19,650 crore Indian rupees. Spread over 1,160 hectares, the new facility is set to ease pressure on Mumbai's existing airport and give a major boost to India's aviation capacity. The PM also inaugurated the final phase of Mumbai Metro Line 3, linking Acharya Atre Chowk to Cuff Parade, further expanding the city's urban transport network. The PM also launched the Mumbai One app, offering commuters integrated mobile ticketing and seamless access across multiple public transport systems. He also unveiled the short-term employability program under Maharashtra's Skill Development Department to be implemented across 400 government ITIs and 150 technical high schools, aimed at aligning youth skills with industry demand and enhancing job readiness. Also earlier in the day, the PM inaugurated the India Mobile Congress 2025 at New Delhi's Yashobhoomi Convention Centre, marking the beginning of one of Asia's largest technology and innovation gatherings. The four-day event is being organized under the theme Innovate to Transform, highlighting India's commitment to leveraging innovation for digital transformation and societal progress. IMC 2025 is showcasing latest advancements in telecom and emerging technologies, bringing together global leaders, policymakers, industry experts and innovators. More than 150,000 visitors from over 150 countries, 7,000 plus global delegates and 400 plus companies are participating. Over 1,600 new use cases across areas such as 5G, 6G, AI, smart mobility, cybersecurity, quantum computing and green technology are being showcased. IMC 2025 also underscores international collaboration with delegations from Japan, Canada, the UK, Russia, Ireland and Austria participating in the event. And addressing this gathering, Prime Minister Modi highlighted the efforts of the government to combat the risk of cybersecurity threats in the country.
आज हम देश में साइबर सिक्योरिटी को भी उतनी ही प्राथमिकता दे रहे हैं। साइबर फ्रॉड्स के खिलाफ कानून सख्त किए गए हैं और अकाउंटेबिलिटी भी बढ़ाई है और ग्रीवेंस रिड्रेसल के मैकेनिज्म को भी बेहतर किया गया है। इंडस्ट्री और कंज्यूमर्स दोनों को इसका बहुत बड़ा लाभ मिल रहा है। फ्रेंड्स, आज पूरा विश्व भारत के पोटेंशियल को रिकॉग्नाइज कर रहा है। दुनिया का दूसरा सबसे बड़ा टेलीकॉम मार्केट हमारे पास है। दूसरा सबसे बड़ा 5G मार्केट यहाँ है और मार्केट के साथ ही हमारे पास मैन पावर भी है, मोबिलिटी भी है और माइंडसेट भी है।
The PM also said that India recently launched its Made in India 4G stack, marking a major indigenous achievement and a significant step towards digital self-reliance.
कुछ दिन पहले ही भारत ने अपना मेड इन इंडिया 4G स्टैक लॉन्च किया है। ये देश की बड़ी स्वदेशी उपलब्धि है। अब भारत दुनिया के उन 5 देशों की लिस्ट में आ गया है जिनके पास ये सामर्थ्य है। ये डिजिटल सेल्फ रिलायंस की दिशा में, टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंडिपेंडेंस की दिशा में देश का एक बड़ा कदम है। इंडिजिनियस 4G एंड 5G स्टैक के जरिए हम न केवल सीमलेस कनेक्टिविटी को सुनिश्चित कर पाएंगे, बल्कि देशवासियों को तेज इंटरनेट और रिलायबल सर्विसेज भी दे पाएंगे।
Indian Air Force is celebrating 93rd Air Force Day on Wednesday, marking nearly a century of service and discipline. The celebrations include a grand parade, flypasts, and demonstrations of India's advanced air capabilities. Speaking on the occasion, Air Force Chief, Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh said, Indian air warriors have made history in every era, and Operation Sindoor is a shining example of it.
Our performance in Operation Sindoor fills us with professional pride. We proved to the world how air power can be effectively used in shaping military outcomes in just a few days. India's bold and precise attacks restored the rightful place of offensive air action in the national consciousness. Our robust air defense architecture and offensive employment of long-range surface-to-air missile systems limited the adversary's freedom to operate and ensured safety of our vital assets. The outstanding performance of indigenously developed and integrated weapons, which delivered precise and devastating blows deep inside enemy territory, vindicates our faith in homegrown capabilities. Operation Sindoor is a shining example of what can be achieved through meticulous planning, disciplined training, and determined execution.
And DD India's Nandana Dagar has filed the special report from the Hindan Air Base on the stellar year that the Indian Air Force has had, with a decisive victory in round 1 of Operation Sindoor.
It has been raining over Hindan for the past 3 days, but today the weather held and it did not rain over the Air Force Day Parade. What a day it has been for our Air Force. What a year it has been for our Air Force. At the start of Operation Sindoor, the Pakistani terrorist headquarters of Bahawalpur and Muridke were reduced to rubble by our standoff long-range air-to-ground missiles of our Air Force. Rahim Yar Khan and Sargoda runways were hit hard and cratered. The Jacobabad, Bhulari and Sukur hangars were bombed hard, and the F-16s, AWACS and the UAVs parked there were sitting ducks. They had no chance. Even the Chaklala Air Base, which is just 10 kilometers from the Pakistani military headquarters of Rawalpindi, was not spared. All this is borne not just by our Indian intelligence and high-tech cameras, but also internationally available commercial satellite imagery and the photos and videos that the Pakistani themselves were disseminating. Operation Sindoor is a testament of the level of jointness or synergy that the Air Force has achieved with the Army and Navy along with the other agencies. But most of all, Operation Sindoor is a demonstration of our Air Force's decisive air superiority over the Pakistani Air Force. It was striking at will wherever it wanted, whenever it wanted, after rendering the Pakistani Air Force blind and vulnerable. In other words, our Air Force is never failing, not penetrable, and always precise. Translated into Hindi, it means achuk, abhedya, and Satik. And that is the Air Force's motto. With camera person Vishwabandhu in Hindon in Ghaziabad, this is Nandita Dagar for DD India.
Now, India's think tank Niti Aayog's report on AI for inclusive societal development has been released in New Delhi. The report was released by Jayant Chaudhary, Minister of State for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. The report provides recommendations for Mission Digital Shram Setu, which seeks to empower India's informal workforce with AI skills and tools.
We are a large population of people who will benefit from the impact on their own productivity and their creating aspirational livelihoods for themselves by using these technologies. And I think that speaks to what our Secretary Meti said, that there are always doubts that technology can exclude, technology can empower. The Indian experience has been that people who are perhaps not graduates, who are not part of the formal education system, have leapfrogged encumbrances by just adapting technology.
Our daily wage rate for a lot of these informal sector people is about $5 a day, $5 to $6. The 400 to 500 rupees a day is what they get in good times. The question is, if they have to be $14,000 a day, they have to earn about $50 a day. That's the kind of switch. It's a 10-time shift. And it cannot happen by them working harder or putting in long hours. There are only 24 hours in a day, and how much more can they work hard? You have to tech enable them to actually be more productive and have more incomes.
Now, the size of India's informal workforce is around 490 million. The Niti Aayog report suggests AI intervention can help transform India's informal workforce into a formal, empowered and future-ready labour force. Some of the key recommendations include: establish multi-tiered coordination forums across stakeholder groups, facilitate collaborations across tech firms, manufacturers, skilling bodies, AI labs, academia and civil society, create enabling tools to balance need for innovation with worker protection, identify and quantify gaps between emerging tech and ground-level outcomes, define holistic key performance indicators or KPIs to track impact. Now, a significant step in strengthening Indo-Japanese relations. The Haryana and Shimane Partnership event was held at the Embassy of India in Tokyo. The event brought together senior leaders, business investors and community members to promote bilateral cooperation in trade, tourism and culture. DD India's Paulami Burman has sent us this report.
In a unique show of regional diplomacy, the Haryana-Shimane Partnership event at the Indian Embassy in Tokyo spotlighted new opportunities in investment, tourism and cultural exchange between India and Japan. Haryana Chief Minister Shri Naib Singh Saini held a series of high-level discussions with Japanese investors focusing on enhancing economic ties and people-to-people connections.
भारत और जापान के बीच के संबंध प्राचीन और गहरे हैं। वहीं हरियाणा जापान संबंध दोनों पक्षों के बीच आधुनिक समय की भागीदारी का उदाहरण भी ये प्रस्तुत करता है। मुझे ये भी खुशी है कि आज हरियाणा में लगभग 400 जापानीज कंपनियां और 4000 से अधिक हमारे जापानी नागरिक कार्यरत हैं।
The governor of the Shimane Prefecture, Tatsuya Maruyama, the speaker of the Shimane Prefectural Assembly and the mayor of Matsue City were also present, reflecting strong commitment from both sides to deepen regional cooperation and ties.
島根県はこの年に一度、1年に一度、この日本中の神々が集まられますこの出雲大社に代表されますこの古代の神話や歴史、そしてこの各地のこの温泉が多数存在するほか、日本酒発祥の地ともされるなど、この豊かな自然とともに多様なこの魅力あふれる地域であります。
Adding flavor to the day, stalls inside the embassy showcased Shimane's local delicacies from sushi to sake to matcha and strawberries, giving guests a cultural taste of Shimane Prefecture. The evening concluded with the Gita Mahotsav celebrated by the Indian community in Tokyo. The Haryana CM personally invited the Indian diaspora to visit Kurukshetra for the grand Gita Mahotsav celebrations. Here at the Embassy of India in Tokyo, the partnership event between Haryana and the Shimane Prefecture brought together stakeholders from both the nations. With the Haryana CM and the Governor of the Shimane Prefecture being in attendance, this event focuses on highlighting strategic business investments and tourism through high-level meetings and cross-cultural events throughout the day. This is Paulami Burman reporting from Tokyo for DD India.
And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Outgoing French Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu claims fresh legislative elections are looking less likely after talks in the political crisis hit European nation. And India to clash with South Africa in the ongoing Women's World Cup on Thursday.
This week on Defence Dynamics, Pakistan feels the pressure. India's top brass delivers a unified message, from the Air Chief's confidence to Defence Minister's warning and the Army Chief's strong words on terror. India's Air Chief on 5th generation AMCA and new fighter options. And a closer look at the Army's AK-603 air defence upgrade under Mission Sudarshan Chakra. Catch it all this Wednesday at 8 PM IST only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is in Mumbai with a historic 125-member delegation ahead of crucial talks with Prime Minister Modi on the 9th of October. Their meeting will focus on deepening trade, technology and strategic ties alongside key addresses at the globally significant 6th Global Fintech Fest.
Maharashtra's Mumbai is set to witness a significant diplomatic milestone on October 9th as UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who arrived at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport on October 8th, prepares for pivotal bilateral discussions with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Received by Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, Deputy Chief Ministers Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar, and Governor Acharya Devrat, the UK Prime Minister leads a historic 125-member delegation, the largest UK trade mission ever to India, comprising top CEOs, representatives from leading British universities and industry leaders. This visit builds on the momentum created by the landmark UK-India trade agreement signed in July 2025, which significantly reduces tariffs and opens new avenues for British businesses in one of the world's fastest-growing economies. Ahead of the visit, Starmer described the deal as a launchpad for growth with unparalleled opportunities, underlining the visit's focus on fostering deeper economic and strategic cooperation between the two nations. On October 9th, the two leaders will commence the day by reviewing progress under the India-UK Comprehensive Strategic Partnership and the Vision 2030 roadmap. Key areas of focus will include trade and investment, technology and innovation, defense and security, climate and energy, health and education. Economic ties will be further anchored by discussions on the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement (CETA), alongside exchanges on pressing regional and global issues. Notably, UK Prime Minister Starmer has clarified that visa relaxations are not part of the current negotiations. Later in the day, both Prime Ministers will participate in the CEO Forum, followed by delivering keynote addresses at the 6th edition of the Global Fintech Fest at Mumbai's Geo World Centre. The fest, themed Empowering Finance for a Better World, powered by AI, augmented intelligence, innovation and inclusion, is expected to attract over 100,000 participants from more than 75 countries, underscoring its stature as one of the world's largest fintech gatherings and a platform for advancing fintech innovation. The visit marks a robust phase in UK-India relations, reinforcing shared ambitions for accelerated economic growth, and strategic partnership. Bureau Report, DD India.
Now, caretaker French Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu struck a cautiously optimistic tone on Wednesday, saying a deal on the country's budget could eventually be reached, making the possibility of a snap election less likely. Lecornu held talks with various parties and reported to President Emmanuel Macron of whether he had found a way to end the ongoing political turmoil.
I have good reason to tell you that among the positive developments, all the consultations I have had with the President of the National Assembly, with the President of the Senate, and with all the political groups show a shared will to ensure that France has a budget before December 31 of this year.
And joining us with more about the impact on the markets due to France's ongoing political crisis from Berlin is DW's Chiponda Chimbelu. Good afternoon to you, Chiponda. How have the markets really reacted to these developments?
France's main index, the CAC 40, has been trading lower this week. It did post its biggest fall in a day since late August after news of the French PM's resignation broke. But other indexes in Europe are faring better. While there was, of course, some surprise at the news of the latest resignation by a French prime minister, the fact is that investors are aware of the political gridlock in France, and they also knew that a new prime minister wasn't going to change that. Now, the gridlock is, of course, an outcome of the 2024 snap election. Now, the result was that Macron's Renaissance Party lost its majority in the National Assembly and has had to rely on the far right or the left-leaning alliance. Now, both of those are not its natural partners, rather. Now, the latest development is, of course, a sign that the fiscal challenges that we've seen in France won't be going away anytime soon. There is no other EU country that holds more national debt than France. And of course, what we've seen is a reaction on the bond markets. They have higher risk premiums for French bonds.
All right, so still a lot optimistic there. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, Chiponda Chimbelu from Berlin. Now, on to some business news. Gold raced past $4,000 an ounce for the first time on Wednesday as investors piled into a historic rally in the safe haven asset to hedge against global economic and geopolitical uncertainties while also betting on US interest rate cuts. Spot gold was up 1.3% at $4,034.59 per ounce. That is, silver also latched on to gold's rally, gaining 2.2% to $48.85 per ounce, and just a little away from its all-time high of $49.51. Gold has always been seen as a store of value during times of instability. Spot gold is up about 54% year to date after gaining 27% last year. It's one of the best performing assets of 2025, outpacing advances in global equity markets and Bitcoin and losses for the US dollar and crude oil. Scientists Susumu Kitagawa, Richard Robson and Omar Yagi won the 2025 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry 2025 for the development of a new type of molecular architecture. They created metal organic frameworks containing large cavities in which molecules can flow in and out. Researchers have used them to harvest water from desert air, extract pollutants from water, capture carbon dioxide and store hydrogen. Sports now, and the unbeaten Indian women's cricket team will take on South Africa in the group stage of the ongoing ICC Women's ODI World Cup on Thursday. In their last match, Harleen Deol and Richa Ghosh's batting blitz, along with Kirti Gaur's 3-wicket haul, proved how balanced the Indian team is. After crushing New Zealand in their recent encounter thanks to Tasmeen Brits ton, South Africa have also found their rhythm. India sit comfortably at the second spot in the points table with 2 consecutive victories. Meanwhile, the Proteas are placed at the 5th position with 1 win and 1 loss. The top 4 teams at the end of the group stage will qualify for the semis. And that's it for the moment in this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code, download the app. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Royan from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.